Thank you. The meeting of the Committee on Student Achievement and School Innovation of the Board of School Directors will please come to order. Will the Secretary please call the roll?
Director Carr?
Present.
Director Garcia?
Present.
Director Gokul Gandhi?
Present.
Director Leonard?
Present.
Chair Simpson?
Present.
We have 5 members of the committee present, and Director Peterson is joining the committee.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. The Chair will now ask the Secretary to lead us in the recitation of the Pledge of Allegiance. The Chair invites any members of the audience who wish to participate to do so, and asks that those who do not wish to participate please remain silent during the recitation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This meeting is being conducted in person from Central Services Building. In order to allow as much public access and participation as possible, this meeting is also being broadcast via live stream on the MPS website and on the MPS YouTube stream, the links to which may be found on the MPS website on the broadcast page. Before we begin tonight's meeting, we will have a short announcement regarding interpretation services for the Spanish-speaking members of our audience.
Buenas tardes y bienvenidos a la Junta Escolar de las Escuelas Públicas de Milwaukee. Si desea escuchar esta reunión en español, por favor llame al 312-626-6799. Nuevamente, 312-626-6799. E introduzca el número de reunión 608-130-5362. Nuevamente, el número de reunión es 608-130-5362. Gracias.
Thank you. For each of our items of business, we will hold a discussion and public hearing. If you wish to speak, please fill out a speaker slip and bring it back to our board clerk, Dr. Mann. When you are called upon to speak, please state your name and spell your last name for the record. Individuals who wished to speak for tonight's meeting were required to register in advance. I ask those who are waiting to speak to remain on the platform until you are called upon to speak. After a speaker's time is up, they may continue to follow the meeting at one of the board broadcast options mentioned previously. For the sake of fairness and to give everyone a chance to speak, the chair reserves the right to limit the length of time allowed to any one speaker. Written testimony will be accepted for transmittal to the board. Send this testimony to the Office of Board Governance, P.O. Box 2181, Milwaukee, Wisconsin 53201-2181, or fax to 414-475-8071, or email it to governance@milwaukee.k12.wi.us. Just as a reminder, Robert's Rules of Order dictates that all comments should be directed to the chair of the committee. Also, any questions or requests, including those from the public, committee members, or the administration, are to be directed toward the chair, who will determine the most efficient way to address them. For the safety of all and to ensure the good order of the meeting, harassment or intimidation tactics of any kind will will not be tolerated. Anyone who engages in such harassing or intimidating words or actions will immediately be asked to cease. If such behavior continues, a recess will be called and the offending parties will be removed from the meeting before the meeting resumes. Anyone ejected from the meeting may continue to listen to the meeting or access the agenda items online. However, he or she will not be allowed to rejoin the meeting. Also, no one other than members of the board, the staff of the superintendent's office, the Office of Board Governance, and the Office of Accountability and Efficiency, and those who have been invited to present or participate in items of business will be allowed on stage before, during, or after meetings of the board and its committees. Also for our listening audience, if you wish to access this evening's agenda items and attachments online, you may do so by visiting the meetings, agendas, and minutes page on the MPS website and choosing online agendas. Now, let's begin. Madam Secretary, item 1.
Item number 1 is a report with possible action on the Comprehensive School Counseling Program. This is an informational item, and although it has been noticed for possible action, no action is required.
Would the administration please present this item?
Yes, Chair Simpson and members of the committee, Keith Posley, Superintendent of Schools. This evening, we're reporting out on the Comprehensive School Counseling Program, which covers more than a dozen counseling programs and opportunities for MPS students. I have Ophelia King here with me to share out on this item, and after which we'll be more than happy to entertain any questions that you may have in regards to this item. Ophelia.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Posley. Good evening, Director Simpson and members of the board. My name is Ophelia King, Manager of School Counseling. I want to first begin by publicly saying thank you to all school counselors for the countless support and service you provided to our students and continue to provide. Your flexibility and tireless efforts are needed now more than ever, and you have answered the call. I also want to thank administration and the board for your support of a comprehensive school counseling program. Last year was a year of transition, and school counselors implemented a modified school counseling program across all grades, K through 12, allowing school counselors increased time to navigate other areas of our program, such as small group counseling, responsive services. During the 2021 school year, a number of activities were provided for students in person with the goal of improving post-secondary outcomes. I want to now highlight a few of those activities. The first one I want to talk about is the school counseling curriculum. In 2015, MPS implemented a comprehensive counseling program, and we implement the curriculum for grades K-5 through 12th grade. This gives us opportunity to help students attain the desired competencies and provide all students with the knowledge, attitudes, and skills appropriate for their development level for students. And also the curriculum is our way to ensure that counseling materials and activities do not discriminate on the basis of race, color, national origin, sex, or disability. I also want to talk about a few of the academic and career planning activities. The first one is something that we do for grades 5th, 7th, 9th, and 11th. We meet with all students and their parents in a student-led conference. The conference has allowed us students to share their vision for their future careers and their plans to attain those goals through an individualized or small group format with parents and trusted adults. The process is still aligned with parent-teacher conferences for grades 9 and 5th grade. Next, I want to talk about a few college activities and programs that we do. The United Negro College Fund works in conjunction with Milwaukee Public Schools to provide an Empower Me tour. This is a free virtual college and career readiness event, a national series established to inspire and motivate high school students, college students, and recent graduates toward academic excellence, career success, and personal responsibility. This Empower Me tour provides the opportunity for thousands of high school students and college students and recent graduates to gain acceptance into undergraduate or graduate schools, earn scholarships, secure job internships. And this is an event that MPS is selected to participate in. Last year, the tour was virtual, but this year we are excited that this tour will be back in person. Another event that we do as part of our program is called College and Career Night. This is for students in grades 9 through 11. Last year, on April 6th, we held an evening session for parents. It was virtually from 6 to 7:30, where families of students in grades 10 and 11 and 9th, I'm sorry about that, were able to ask questions and learn about how they should prepare for post-secondary opportunities. Some of the topics we talked about for this event were apprenticeships, military, college, technical schools, and work options. Last year's theme was Choose Your Path. We also do a number of activities to not only explain to students about what's needed for post-secondary, but we help them complete those tasks. And one includes our College Application Week. This is a week that we moved last year to a month time frame in which we help all seniors participate in a variety of workshops, helping them write their personal statement, complete their financial aid, determine a college for a best fit. MPS also participate in the state's college application campaign statewide, and this is a state initiative that we continue to lead. In addition to that, we host a scholarship application campaign week where we provide a dedicated time for counselors and other school staff to assist students with not only completing the financial aid application, but also applying to college. And we're excited that at the end of the school year in May, we did it again last year, we host what's called a Decision Day, where each school celebrates all the college, work, apprenticeship, and military decisions that students made. Next, I'm going to be talking about some programs that we do for parents through the counseling department and MPS, one of our M-Cubed initiatives. Milwaukee Parent Institute is a session that we host families to ensure that they have the resources and information they need for their children. The Parent Institute ensures family understand what kind of pathways, academic support, and resources are available and how to access each option. Last year, we held a session for elementary, middle, and 3 high school sessions offered in English and Spanish. The sessions were held virtually and lasted 6 weeks. And this summer, we hosted our first Summer Parent Institute for elementary and high school students. One of the changes that were made last year to work closely with students after transitioning from being virtual is we conducted small group counseling sessions. Each counselor at each school was required to host one session, one group per semester. And this allowed us to meet with students to address their emotional and behavioral needs throughout the school year. Counselors also supported the Milwaukee virtual program and providing additional support for those students who were virtual. School counselors conducted a credit checklist for each student, reviewed their schedules, and also hosted some virtual office hours. Last year, we included 2 new programming events. One was our National Apprenticeship Week, and this was a pilot done for students in grades 9 through 12. Apprenticeship Week, celebrated in conjunction with the National Apprenticeship Week, was a week-long celebration where high school counselors collaborated with industry, labor, and equity, workforce, education, and government leaders to highlight the success and value of registered apprenticeships. We also highlighted the contributions that women make, and we discussed with them the importance of having equal access for women. Another new event that we added was the HBCU Week, the Historically Black Colleges and Universities Week, and each grade K through 12 participated, and we helped foster the celebrations of not only HBCUs, but helping to meet the needs of first-generation students. We are extremely excited that what this new year will bring in the Office of School Counseling. We plan to host some grade-level parent meetings to support parents' understanding of key steps and requirements at each grade level and increase engagement. The first parent grade level meeting will take place this October. The first hour, parents will learn about an important topic like graduation requirements, and the second hour, parents will have the opportunity to meet with school counselors and ask specific grade level questions. This concludes my report, and I will now answer any questions that you have. Thank you.
Thank you for that report and highlighting the important work that our school counselors do. Do committee members wish to make comments or ask questions? I see Director Leonard.
So yeah, a couple of questions. First of all, how many unfilled FTEs do we have when it comes to school counselors?
Director Simpson and members of the board, thank you for that question. We currently have 7.9 unfilled FTE vacancies. And as you know, FTEs don't equal school counselor positions. And I'm going to tell you what that is equal to in a second. So we have 7.9 FTE vacancies, and that's a total of 22 schools.
Follow-up, Director Leonard?
Yes, please. I guess the next question is a tough one, because I don't know if you can really answer this or not. What is the likelihood of us being able to fill those positions? I'm looking at it because we're looking at ESSER dollars, and there's a timeline with it, and I'm trying to make sure that we really cover ourselves the right way. So what do you, just on your personal feelings regarding getting those positions hired, what is the likelihood of that occurring?
Director Simpson, members of the board, thank you for that question. We are working tirelessly to fill those positions. We have a school counseling grant that we got through the office, through DPI. So we're currently offering signing bonuses to newly hired counselors while supplies last, obviously. But we also, with that grant, promoting our vacancies through a national avenue as well as through the state. I've also reached out to our community partners, our colleges and our universities to promote our vacancies. So we're all working tirelessly to get those positions filled.
Chair Simpson and members of the committee, one of the other things just to add on to that is the idea that each semester we take on interns from the universities, and that is another way that we are able to maintain and pick up new counselors that way. So that is something that we do on a semester by semester basis. So in January, we should be able to, after the students complete in December, we should have an opportunity to bring some more counselors on board as well, along with all of the other avenues that Ms. King just talked about. Thank you.
Director Leonard?
I'll just finish up with, I just want to make sure that you keep us up to date on it as a board so that we know exactly where we're at. Probably, again, like you said, Dr. Posey, sometime in January. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Gokul Gandhi?
Hi, thank you for that update. I have two questions for you. So one is semi-related to Director Leonard's question. So, I know that we're in a really tight labor market, so I get that. Do we have sort of a staffing triage of where we'd reallocate the dollars set aside for FTEs if we aren't able to fill those positions, and what we would maybe transfer ESSER dollars to in your department?
Administration?
Chair Simpson, members of the committee, one of the things that we do, we take a close look, like we said, that throughout the year we have individuals coming in and out. So therefore, we take a look at those dollars. And then at the end of the year, we look at other avenues, other things that can be done in the department that we will spend those dollars on, because by no means do we want to lose those dollars. So therefore, there are some adjustments that's made, and that time usually differs, because it could be in the area of our March or April, or whatever the situation may be when we look at it, but we do everything that we can to maintain those positions, to do everything we can to fill those positions.
Follow-up, Director Gokul Gandhi?
Yeah, and can you just tell us, like, what trends are you seeing in terms of what students are interested in? You know, obviously we know what it was pre-COVID, but post-COVID, are you seeing any great shifts in student interest or what students are doing for post-secondary options? I'm just curious to know if you've noticed any big changes.
Yes, Director Simpson and members of the board, as you know, we do use the Zello software for academic and career planning. And we were very pleased to see, as for one of the career options, it was the fourth option, I do remember that, education was another area of interest that was selected by students, which was something we hadn't seen in the previous year.
Exciting. Director Golka Gandhi? Thank you. Any other members? Director Peterson?
Yeah, thank you for the comprehensive description of the work that the counselors do. I noticed the last thing on the list was mentioned, the early admissions workshop. Obviously, the board has changed, eliminated early admissions, and it's all at the same time for all the high schools. Can you explain the role that counselors have in terms of helping parents choose their top 3 or 5 schools? And if a school doesn't have a counselor, how is that then handled?
Thank you, Director Simpson and members of the board. Counselors play a major role as they're the first person that the parents talk to about options, not only just for college and post-secondary, but that next transition level. So they do a lot. We do a lot to offer workshops to parents, one-on-one support. And we do have a few counselors who work centrally. They have like a 0.9 in their schedule, FTE. And so they will, as we have done in the past, work to support those schools who have a counselor vacancy at the K-8 level. In addition to that, I do work with the regionals and the principals at those schools to make sure they have all the pertinent information. And although school counseling is one of the areas that supports early admission, it really is a school-wide effort. That teacher, that principal, that parent coordinator are a list of some of the positions that are involved in the support of that. And we will, again, be supporting parents around this area in addition to the things that I mentioned.
Thank you.
Any follow-up, Director Peterson? Okay. Madam Secretary, do any members of the public wish to make comments?
Madam Chair, we have no request for public testimony on this item.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? All right, seeing none, Madam Secretary, next item, please.
The next item is item number 2, which is a report with possible action on the academic standards. This is an informational item, and although it has been noticed for possible action, no action is required.
Will the administration please present this item?
To multiple assessment plans and defines how academic areas some academic areas are not covered, such as the Common Core state standards, the Common Core essential elements, and the Wisconsin model early learning standards. And I have Jennifer Mims-Howe here with me this afternoon, and she's going to walk us through the plan, and after which we'll be more than happy to entertain any questions that you may have. Jennifer.
Thank you, Dr. Posley. Good evening, Chair Simpson and members of the committee. I am Jennifer Mims-Howe, Chief Academic Officer. Tonight, I will review with you the annual board presentation of the academic standards based on the Department of Public Instruction. The Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction requires that each year the academic standards be presented to the board and be adopted at the beginning of the school year. Tonight, I will share with you the standards and also highlight for you what Milwaukee Public Schools is doing to fulfill these standards. In 2012, Common Core state standards were introduced. At the time, Milwaukee Public Schools took the Common Core state standards and incorporated them into their comprehensive learning plan, as well as the comprehensive math and science plan. Today, we have this embedded in our ambitious instruction. We had a teacher institute this year where we included teachers, paraprofessionals, as well as CHAs on looking at how we can increase the knowledge and deepen the learning for our students. The Common Core essential elements, this is the curriculum that we use for our most significant students who have intellectual disabilities. We use the same themes and topics that we use for Common Core state standards so that all students are learning through the ambitious instruction process and learning together. In September of 2013, the Department of Public Instruction released their career and technical education standards. Milwaukee Public School jumped right in. We have our career and tech ed standards. We fulfill these by offering our students health science courses, as well as technology, engineering, and also business courses. In 2014, the Wisconsin Model for Early Learning Standards were released by Milwaukee Public Schools. The Department of Public Instruction. Milwaukee Public Schools, again, through a child-initiated, teacher-initiated activities, developed an early childhood learning model. We offered students opportunities to explore and to apply new skills that were age-appropriate. In 2017, the Department of Public Instruction adopted the Next Generation Science Standards. Again, Milwaukee Public Schools began working on their STEM labs, science, technology, engineering, and math. We also have now GE labs. We have Project Lead the Way, all working around technology, math, science, helping our students increase their knowledge and engineering skills in our middle and our high schools. In 2018, the Department of Public Instruction adopted our social studies standards. This year, Milwaukee Public Schools had a social studies adoption. In 2019, world languages were developed to parallel the English language arts for our students so that they could participate and develop bilingualism as well as biliteracy. Milwaukee Public Schools followed through the seal of biliteracy you've heard so much about. Many students graduate with this seal in the last 2 years. And finally, in 2021, during a school board meeting, the Department of Public Instruction shared with us the English Language Development Standards. These are interactive standards for our students who communicate information and concepts. The standards are aligned to both language and learning for our students who have multilingual needs in the learning process. Per the Department of Public Instruction, all academic areas not covered through our Common Core state standards, Common Core essential elements, Wisconsin Model of Early Learning are covered under the Wisconsin Academic Standards. They include art and design education, dance, environmental education, health education, information and technology, music education, nutrition education, personal finance literacy, physical education, reading, school counseling, theater education, and world languages. This concludes the annual report, and we are prepared to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that report. Do committee members wish to make comments or ask questions? None? Are there any members of the public who wish to make comments or ask questions?
Madam Chair, we have no request for public testimony on this item.
Thank you.
However, I do have a question.
Yes.
In just listening to Ms. Mims Howell explain the standards at the beginning of the presentation, is there a requirement that the board approve the standards? I understand that you stated that they should review them, but is there a requirement that the board approve the standards as required by statute?
Ms. Mims Howell?
Thank you, Chair Simpson, members of the committee, Dr. Mann. The standards need to be adopted each year by our school board, yes.
Thank you. Madam Chair?
Yes.
Given that language, the board would need to take action on this item. And so while this item is not noticed for action tonight, this item would need to be set aside and acted upon at the regular board meeting.
Thank you. Do we need a motion to set this item aside then?
It will automatically be set aside, as I would be asking the board to forward this to, the committee to forward this to the board without recommendation.
All right, then I guess that's what we'll be doing. Thank you. All right. Madam Secretary, next item, please.
The next item is item number 3, which is a report with possible action regarding the annual workforce readiness update for the 2021-22 school year. This is an informational item, and although it has been noticed for possible action, no action is required.
Would administration please present this item?
Chair Simpson and members of the committee, we're reporting out on the annual workforce readiness update for the 2021-22 school year. The Career and Technical Education Office has continued to work to improve and expand students' work readiness and provide work opportunities for students throughout the district. This evening, I have with me Mr. Eric Radomski to share out on this item, and after which we'll be more than happy to entertain any questions that you may have. Eric.
Good evening, Chair C. The committee. My name is Eric Radomski, Manager of Career and Technical Education. I'm here tonight to share some information about our workforce readiness efforts during the 2021-2022 school year. Our CTE team worked hard to make our processes more effective and to provide a number of excellent resources for our students, teachers, and employer partners to help students become better prepared for work and to gain more work experiences. It was great to be able to get back to in-person instruction and events, and we work collaboratively with our employer partners and schools to expand the number of students participating in work-based learning. I'd like to share some of the highlights from last school year with you. At least 1,960 students had some sort of work experience in the 21-22 school year, which includes students who worked in summer 21. This number includes the School to Work program, work release, youth apprenticeships, internships, and the employment through the Mayor's Earn and Learn program. Work-based learning participation increased 85% since the all-virtual year of 2020-2021, with 4% more students who participated in 21-22 than in 19-20, the year before the pandemic interrupted instruction. Youth apprenticeships and students in the School to Work program both grew 52% last year. Both internships and the Earn and Learn program tripled their participation, and work release grew 15%. Since the inception of the internship program 5 years ago in 2017-2018, internships have grown steadily by 5 to 7% in each year, other than in 2020-2021 when we were all virtual. All students who successfully complete a youth apprenticeship receive 1 credit per semester, and those who participate in internships may also receive between 1/4 and 1 credit per semester, depending on the number of hours worked. CTE maintained continual communication with the schools throughout our main contacts, Career Champions. Career Champions are assistant principals at each of the high schools who lead the school's work-based learning teams. Those teams consist of key members of the school, like counselors, parent coordinators, college and career center planning assistants, and transition coordinators, who are charged with communicating important information from our CTE team about work readiness resources and work opportunities to students at their schools. We met on a monthly basis with those career champions for the ultimate purpose of preparing our students for work and growing the number of youth apprenticeships and internships for our students throughout the district. CTE completed and distributed an employer playbook, which provides our current and potential employers with a comprehensive guide to our work-based learning efforts in the district and how our employer partners can go about providing high-quality work-based learning opportunities for our students. It includes definitions of key terms, a breakdown of district roles and expectations, a list of employer responsibilities, and an overall process for employers to follow, including exemplars from some of our most successful employers on how they have managed their student hiring efforts. CTE developed and promoted a work readiness video for any student interested in learning about our internships and youth apprenticeships. It provided students with information about how to access work readiness resources that we provide, how to learn about new work opportunities, and how to apply for them through our online application system. CTE used 2 Google Classrooms as the main portal for students to access key information. One of those classrooms is devoted to job readiness for all students, while the other classroom is specific to those seeking a youth apprenticeship. There are a multitude of great videos on these classrooms for students to learn about whatever career cluster they're interested in. In addition, the classrooms contain employment preparation resources like resume assistance, interview tips, and resources for employability skills development. The classrooms contain important information about upcoming job fairs and other employment events that are offered throughout the year. We also provided a work-based learning Google Shared Drive full of valuable resources for teachers and other MPS staff members. CTE updated our student job board on a regular basis throughout the year. Students have 24/7 access to this job board through our Google Classrooms. In addition, the link to the board is provided on many of our materials and electronic communications sent to career champions and students. This past school year, CTE ran 2 student job fairs, one in-person for juniors and one virtual for seniors. Over 600 students participated in these fairs, and almost 50 employers participated in each fair. This past year, we were once again able to hold in-person student events in conjunction with the Milwaukee Metropolitan Association of Commerce. In the past, we focused on providing 7th grade students with company site tours to explore various careers. Last year, we shifted our focus to providing career exploration and work readiness experiences for high school students. The first event we hosted with MMAC was held at American Family Field on April 7th for almost 300 high school students. There, students learned about local in-demand career pathways from the Milwaukee Brewers, Johnson Controls, and Aurora Healthcare. Students learned about high-quality jobs in growing industries like advanced manufacturing, technology, business finance, construction, and patient care. The second event, called Career Conversations, was held April 27th and 28th at the Avenues for approximately 100 students. The MMAC secured over 60 career coaches to provide one-on-one career planning and work readiness assistance for our students. And finally, as part of our efforts to improve our processes and communicate with schools and employers as effectively as possible, the CTE team began researching online tools that could help us. Late in the school year, we were able to purchase a tool called Transio, which will help us to be more efficient and to better manage and grow our work-based learning program. Employers will be able to directly upload job applications. Internship and youth apprenticeship applications will be automatically routed to individuals for electronic signature. Students and employers will be able to communicate with each other more easily, and our CTE team will be better able to track everything from start to finish throughout the application and hiring process. That concludes my presentation, and now we have a student with us, Derek Holman. We had 2 students. One had an emergency and couldn't attend tonight, but Derek will be great. And Derek is a 2020 Golda Meir graduate. And take it away, Derek.
Thank you. Chair Seansman, members of the committee, my name is Derek Holman. I graduated from Golda Meir, class of 2020. I also graduated from MATC, class of 2022. First, before I get started, I'd like to thank my career champion, which is Mr. Sokolowski. He introduced me to this job opportunity, which changed my life for the better, so I'd like to say thank you, sir. Secondly, I'd like to talk about my experience in college. Whew. So college was a little rough for me. I had some ups and downs, more ups than downs. I didn't pay for college, so college was free through college reimbursement, which was a blessing. Another up was meeting new people, learning new stuff, and some of my downs were balancing my workload and school load. It was kind of getting tough because you have like more schoolwork but less time to do so. So I was trying to find that right balance to do so. And I say the main reason why I succeeded was my support system, my mother. Anytime I had a rough day at the office or a rough day, taking a test, I can always lean on her. My sister, which is also like my rock. My little nephew helped me out, and my cousin. So my tip is to surround yourself about people that want you to succeed as much as you do. And that's it.
Appreciate you taking the time to do that. And now we'd be happy to take any questions that the board might have for either Derek or administration.
Thank you, Mr. Holman, for sharing your story with us. It's not easy to be on this stage, so thank you very much. I appreciate it. Do committee members wish to make comments or ask questions? I see several, so we'll just kind of go right down the line here. So beginning with Director Leonard.
Well, first of all, Mr. Radomski, I love hearing that there's a 5 to 7% increase overall per year. I'm curious as to what our capacity really could be. But I do have to share a compliment that I received from a counselor from MATC that I know. And he sent me some videos of our students doing some kind of work with one of your programs, and said, hey, things are taking off. Thank you very much. Make sure that they hear this from us, so we really appreciate what you're doing. So whatever we're doing, let's keep it up. And then I guess my question is, if you had a wish list from us as board directors, what would you like us to resolve for you or help you with or make it easier for you to be more successful?
Mr. Radomski?
Director Leonard, Chair Simpson, great question. One of the things I'm looking at is trying to institute a person at the high schools that can kind of devote their time to preparing students, but also reaching out to employers and being that person that is able to be there 100% of the time devoted to that. We have lots of great help. We have the career champions, we have the college and career planning assistants, we have the counselors, but it is another thing on their plate. They do a great job with it, but to have somebody who is able to kind of like it was in the 80s and 90s, if there was somebody that was a cooperative education person. I think that contact there, working with our team here at district office, would be really helpful.
Thank you. Any follow-up, Director Leonard?
Good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And I know I saw Director Gopal-Gandhi.
So at the collegiate level, they have this app called Handshake, which, allows you to interact with employers and apply online. Do we use any sort of interface that kind of centralizes the application process and I know it doesn't replace like a business or industry liaison, but, could alleviate some of the nuances in that problem you were just describing?
Mr. Radomski?
Director Gokul-Gandhi, Chair Simpson, yes, that is actually what Transio will do for us. So we don't have Handshake, but Transio will be that system that really enables everything to move more smoothly and throughout the whole process, right?
Director Gopal-Gandhi, a follow-up?
Yeah, and I would love to ask, what about your MPS experience do you think prepared you for your career?
Mr. Holman?
MPS throws a lot at you, so you never know what you want to get on a normal day basis. So I just saying preparing me to be unpredictable or preparing me for the unpredictable. So yeah, that's it.
Chair Simpson and members of the committee, I would like for Derek to share with us what he's doing now. So Derek, let it be known.
My bad. I'm sorry. I'm a designer for We Energies. Got part of this program my junior year. Ever since then, I've been a summer relief, and then I got moved up to a pre-designer. And recently, when I got my mechanical design technology degree at MATC, I became a full designer. A full designer is basically, at first I was just working nothing but the gas lines to your house. And the next year I'll be doing the electric, so like the street lighting or the power line, should I say, to your houses, and such as bigger gas jobs. So.
Very cool. Thank you. Director Carr?
First thing, I want to say congratulations. Great job, and continue to push forward. It will be difficult, but you got it. But you know that, though, right? My question is specific to employers. Are there any processes or systems in place to evaluate employers and to determine if it's a good fit for students and if it aligns with the labor market demands and the interests of the students?
Mr. Radomski?
Director Carr, Chair Simpson, think a couple questions in there, starting at the end with labor market information. That's something that we do all the time, but on formally on a every 2-year basis when we apply for our federal grant, the Carl Perkins grant. A big part of that application is looking at labor market information and providing evidence to the state that the programs that we provide are actually in-demand careers. And so we're confident about that. There isn't a formal evaluation of employers. What we have is a evaluation for the students to be able to get credits that employers complete for students, but we do not have a formal evaluation process. Only the staff in our office that works with each other, but at the moment we don't.
Follow-up, Director Carr?
Yes, final question. What has been the feedback from the employers relative to the student placements and specifically the academic and social skills that they see is in demand or is needed within our district or with our students? What has been their feedback regarding the placements and the students and their abilities?
Mr. Radomski?
Director Carr, Chair Simpson, another great question. One that we could probably talk about for a long time. In general, it's positive feedback. I would say that the preparation part for work, the work readiness piece is the part that we struggle with the most, and that our students struggle with the most, just not being prepared maybe for the work environment as well as they could be. Some are, but many aren't. And so that is probably the biggest challenge, getting students sort of ready for that work experience. The technical skills have been good. The employers will train on that sort of thing. But I would say, so it's communication skills are probably number one that we hear all the time. And some of the other soft skills that you might hear, collaborating and problem solving. But we've had some focus sessions, a couple of focus sessions with business partners earlier this year, and those are some of the things that came up.
Thank you. Thank you.
Director Carr. Madam Secretary, do any members of the public wish to make comments?
Madam Chair, we have no request for public testimony on this item.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Is there any further discussion? All right, seeing none, thank you again, Mr. Radomski and Mr. Holman, especially Mr. Holman, for making an appearance tonight. We appreciate it. Congratulations on your accomplishments. Thank you. Madam Chair, what is the next item, please?
Madam Chair, that was the last item on this committee's agenda.
There being no further business before the committee, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody, and have a great night.